21 years is a whole generation ago. We didn't know what lay ahead of us, so it was a journey of faith.
You know, we stand on their shoulders today. When I think about, you know, the founding members and the legacy that they have built for us, because they essentially navigated similar to how our ancestors navigated the Pacific. It's not time to rest, but continue to fight.
So we've lived through some, you know, the changing of the times, you know.
And it came out of after we had the Springbok tour, we had the occupation at Bastion Point, we had dawn raids.
But I think it was born out of a real desire to see our Pacifica lawyers excel.
There was a need for some sort of cohesive way of assisting each other.
I recall it was Simativa and Perese, who's now the Chief Justice at the Supreme Court in Samoa, and obviously with Her Honour Judge Airema Losi.
Along with others, and we push them out the front and they take up the big key leadership roles, and Frank and I get to the back, to the kitchen.
We're just watching.
PLA for our lawyers is the place to see our leaders in the profession, to see people who look like us in leadership roles, to see people who appear before the courts, who work in-house, who work in different spaces, like the Boren Foundation, or to believe in those possibilities.
So as a Pacific lawyer, the PLA for me has meant a family, particularly in the profession. We can be kind of lonely out there as Pacific lawyers, and often you do sort of feel like one of one.
There's not a lot of us in the legal profession, and so having sort of this, I guess, beacon of what it means to be Brown Excellence, or a place that you can go to for support, a place you know you can go if you need mentoring in a particular area, or even if you just have questions that you want to ask about how to be your fullest self in a profession that perhaps isn't the most representative of you and your values always.
The pride, the joy, the collegiality, the warmth, the offer that we all have for each other, that for me is one of, I guess, I knew we were on to something, and that was a turning point for us as well.
The highlights for me has been when the PLA was invited to become a member of the New Zealand Law Society Council. That was sort of a very formal and public acknowledgement of the importance of the PLA in terms of the wider profession.
Perhaps the highlight for me in actually realising the importance of Pacific Lawyers Association was at the inaugural Pacific Lawyers Association conference that we had out at Manukau at the AUT. And the level of support, the numbers who attended, the high caliber speakers that we were privileged to hear, and just to catch up with old friends and make new ones. All around that conference, it was a real sense of achievement.
I've attended a lot of legal conferences, and the one thing I just loved about our last conference is that there was just so much laughter.
We always do everything with massive laughs.
You do.
Big hyena laugh, big feeds, big feeds.
You know, no one throws a party like Pacific.
What we'd like to see is another conference, another PLA conference, which we're planning for next year.
And to see our Māori counterparts come through as well, that's been just as exciting, because often we found that we were doing the struggle hard together. Yeah, so there's a really strong affinity between Māori and Pasifika in the law, and it's something that we treasure.
I think one of the moments that I'm proudest of as an exec member was the survey that we undertook in partnership with Tangaroa. And so our survey on court profiling of lawyers in Aotearoa.
Or being the kind of entity where you could elevate the voices of others was really something that I took immense pride in being able to be associated with.
And that we are the voices of the least, the last and the lost. And part of that includes ourselves.
It's not enough just to sit happy in a beautiful office, but it's important that you're giving back to the community and allowing others to follow.
That it's not about chasing the dollar and just pushing ourselves, it's actually being out there, being in the community to serve our community.
Our prayer is that whatever our ceiling is, whatever the top that we can go to in our generation, that you will bust through those ceilings and go even higher to greater levels.
21 years on, I'm just incredibly proud. I could not have imagined that we would be where we are a generation on. In some ways, and in other ways, I'm not surprised at all.
It's a continuum. You know, we've come a long way in 22 years.
Yeah.
But there's more to come.
Some may say the best is yet to come.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Did that make any sense?
Yep.
Did that make any sense? I'm trying to push our values.
I don't know. I can breathe now.
My name is Ali'i Momoa, Sandra Alufi Mai. Oh, no, start again. I even got my name wrong. Okay, you go first.
All right.